Hi everybody and welcome to Figment Workshops. I'm going to be telling you a little bit more today about the Wellspring 6-minute writing technique. My name is Laura Fyfe and I am an award-winning writer, a workshop facilitator. I write poetry and I've had that published in various magazines. I write short stories, again I've had that published in literary magazines. I publish non-fiction as well, and also a book in app format too. So I'm also, as well as all that, I've got a few novels on the go, and I'm a master of procrastination. And I use all that experience that I've had over the last 20 years of helping teenage and adult writers, and I use that in my little non-fiction books to help other writers, as well as on my Facebook and YouTube channels too. The most important tool that I have found to help writers with their writer's block and with procrastination is by far it's a really simple technique, but it's one that I've spent probably about 8 years developing and honing, and it's my Wellspring technique that I mentioned just at the beginning of this video. I developed it after researching lots of different writers' methods for tapping into their own creativity, and particularly after reading Julia Cameron's The Artist's Way. If you haven't read it before and given it a try, it's a 12-week course of learning how to boost your own creativity, and I highly recommend it. One of the things that's in the book is called the morning pages, and Julia Cameron recommends that you write in the morning 3 pages of stream of consciousness, and that definitely helped me up until a point. And beyond that, what I found was what I was writing tended to be the same worries, the same concerns every morning. And then I was writing a to-do list. I would have a cat. Those who watch the videos in the morning know that I've got two cats. Peppy would come and sit down on top of a notebook and I would draw around about the cat. It very much became procrastination. And I thought, it was the longer it was taking as well, I was losing focus. So what can I do to help grab my focus and really connecting with my imagination and my subconscious a little bit more? So what I did was I thought, right, I'm just going to use one thing as a focus to prompt my writing. And I looked around and I had been shopping the night before and I hadn't put away all my shopping. I'd left out a bottle of bleach. So I looked at that bottle of bleach and I thought, right, I'm going to use that as my focus. And I wrote for a very short space of time. Well, that bottle of bleach became a metaphor for keeping a home, for cleanliness, and then it went from there to the smell of chlorine, and how that smell of chlorine reminded me of Sunday mornings with my father going swimming in the local swimming pool. So I thought, God, that's amazing where your imagination can take you when you give it a chance, when you use a random prompt. So that's where the idea for the prompt came from for the Wellspring 6-minute writing technique. Why 6 minutes? Well, I had been doing some more research for workshops as writing as therapy workshops. And for those workshops, we're talking about the research was telling me the importance of having a short focus for people who find it difficult to concentrate. I thought, well, having difficulty concentrating, that sounds very familiar, because I can definitely have that problem. So I thought, let's go for the 6 minutes. And I've tried 5 minutes. 5 minutes is just not quite enough time. I've tried 7 minutes because 7's a very magical number. 7 can be okay. 8, there's something really special about that 6 minutes. So that was honed down with a good deal of experimentation in my own practice, and also experimenting, I was going to say on other writers, experimenting with other writers as well in the Figment creativity workshops that I've run for about 9 years now. So what I'm going to do just now is I'm going to read a little bit from Wellspring for you. If I can find it, there it is. Okay, this is my little book Wellspring, and it's the first non-fiction book that I published for people to help them break down the writer's block. So it's a really cute little book, and in this little book we've got lots of little illustrations, but also at the bottom of the pages we have prompts as well. And I'm going to read you out one of my favourite prompts for our 6-minute writing that we're going to do in just a couple of minutes. But before that, I'm going to do a little bit of reading from here, because you do not want to rely on my memory for all the tips. This is available on Kindle. It's now, as of just this morning, finally, it's now available on Audible too, for you to listen to in case you miss my dulcet tones. You can now listen to them at home whenever you like. So, 6-minute writing. I use the 6-minute writing at the beginning of workshops. I also use it to help warm me up when I'm about to start on a larger project, or if there's something, a plot device or something I'm struggling with, I'll use that to just help get me over any little block that I've got. I do that because I do all of those things, particularly as a warm-up in workshops, because it's essential for writers to discover that no matter how blocked or stressed you feel, your creativity can still flow. I've had so many times writers have come to a workshop from a busy day, a stressful day, and they've said, I didn't think I was going to be able to write anything tonight. It's amazing what you can do when you sit down and allow yourself to do it. And having that time limit as well, means that it's not too big a chunk out of your day. It's not intimidating. You think, well, I'm just going to sit down, I'm going to grab a notebook or my laptop, whatever works better for you. For the 6 minutes, I prefer to write by hand, and I prefer to use keywords and phrases rather than sentences. And for that, just to sit down for 6 minutes feels dead easy. So it's not intimidating at all. So, what I think the benefit of it also is that it reminds people that what brings them to write and what keeps them writing is the pleasure and the success they experience when an idea appears from nowhere. And by using a random prompt and by writing for that 6 minutes, it's an easy way to remind yourself of the joy of that magical mystery moment when an idea just flows through you from nowhere and just appears on that page. If you were to go off topic from the original prompt, that's fine as well. That's great. The prompt is there just to get you started. And it's about writing and writing no matter what. Even if the only thing they can think of is, I don't know what to write. It's about writing no matter whether you can find the right exact word. Just use the word that comes through. Repeat as much as you like. Turn that page blue with swearing if you want. Anything goes. What appears on that page is just for you and nobody else. You don't have to share it with anybody until you're ready. And before you do that, you can of course edit it as well. It's about writing fast or writing slow, whatever feels right for you, depending on your energy at that moment. Write and write, even if the only things that come into your mind are doubts and recriminations, and they very well might. This is about ignoring your doubts, ignoring your editor, and just letting your muse go with it. Don't edit as you're writing as well. There's another tip. Because editing is about your editor, obviously. It's about that inner perfectionist. And I think of course it's important for us to want our writing to be as good as it can possibly be. But the editing process is for later on. And what my experience has been when helping writers in one-to-one tutoring sessions or in workshops is that so often what hampers our progress as writers is actually that pressure on ourselves to write something perfect right from the beginning. Very rarely something comes out as perfect on the page initially. It takes a process of honing it down to get it to the point where you might want to then share it with people. But again, that's for the future. For that moment, for those 6 minutes, all you're doing is writing. Think about it as your muse heading out with a torch in the darkness. Eventually your muse will find a bit of treasure and head out after it, or a needle on a record on a turntable. Once you hit that groove, the music will play. Think about it as mining. You'll hit that seam of gold as you're digging down into your subconscious, and then you just follow it. Or fishing. Think about it as fly fishing, and your muse is casting out, and eventually an idea will take a bite of you, and you just have to reel it in. Or think about it as tapping the source. You're just finding your prompt is what you use to is your tap, and then it's about letting the ideas flow through that tap from the source. And what arise will probably consist of random images, thoughts, and memories. It's all relevant and it's all valuable. Everything is of value, so respect your muse by taking it all down. Julia Cameron describes this process as excavating your buried dreams. Ray Bradbury likens it to opening a trapdoor into the subconscious. If you've never read Ray Bradbury's Zen in the Art of Writing, oh, please do. That man's enthusiasm and passion for creativity is so infectious. It was so infectious. So have a read of that, and also Stephen King's On Writing. He likens it to a process of archaeology. I talk about it as sculpture, and that initial process in the 6-minute writing is you're hacking out that big hunk of rock, and then in the gradual, in that initial shape of what it might eventually be, and then after that, then you can edit it down and chink into it, add things, take things away, and polish it up into its finished product. But you have to have that initial chunk of words, in this case, to draw from. Okay, so that is a little quick introduction into the Wellspring process, 6-minute writing process that I've developed over the last 8 years. There are more tips and more advice in Wellspring on how to tap into your boundless creativity and how to defeat writer's block. As well as that is the other side of the process. So this is more about sort of getting into a habit, and my second book, Magpie Mind, is about how to encourage those creative moments, those, like I call it, it's about having your mind open like a magpie to any little glimmers of inspiration that come along. That's Magpie Mind, and it's about having more spontaneous moments of inspiration in your life and encouraging that to happen. You can encourage them to happen more often. So there's my 2 wee books. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to ask you to get a notebook and a pen or a laptop. If you don't have those handy just now, pause this video and feel free to go and grab those at the moment. One of my favourite prompts, which is quite relevant for the idea of Wellspring and tapping the source, is on page 51 of Wellspring, and your prompt is flowing water. Okay, so your prompt for today is flowing water. The workshops that I do for free on Facebook Live every morning, I usually put the prompt up behind me here. I'm not going to do that today because I've got this saved for a video I'm going to do right after this as a thank you to everyone for coming along in the morning. So anyway, your prompt for this 6-minute session is flowing water. What I also usually do in the workshops that I do both live on Facebook and in person when COVID-19 quarantine is over is I'll time it for everybody. So you bring up 6 minutes on your watch or on your phone, on your timer. I have quite a busy household, so if we are going to get interrupted by cats or by my very cute little 5-year-old, I will put the microphone on silent so you aren't disturbed. Okay, so your 6 minutes begins now. Remember, the key is write and write and write. Don't stop. Keep going. Okay, enjoy. Okay, everybody. So that is your 6 minutes up. That's been a longer video than I normally do. The videos I do in Facebook Live each morning are about 10 minutes, and I give little hints and tips about how to do the 6 minute writing each morning, as well as little tips about anything really that comes to mind and any questions that I have too. This video was in part made in response to some of those questions to give you a little bit more time and some more tips on a winner. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for joining us. If you have enjoyed today, you might want to join us each morning, particularly weekday mornings when we do it live. But we also I make sure I have prompts up for people every day so that of the COVID-19 crisis, so that they've got something positive to work on each day. And I have to say, it's been wonderful, the response that I've had from so many people who've been involved. So I'm just about to head off and do another video just now as a thank you to everybody. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you've enjoyed the 6 minute writing. Remember that 6 minutes is just the beginning. If you want to continue writing on, then of course do that. Quite often the 6 minute writing, you just get a little seed that you can continue on into a larger project as well. So have a lovely day, everybody, and thank you for joining us today. Take care and happy writing.